Welcome to this Nedûn Emberward prototype showcase. This prototype focuses on environmental survival and the dragon's behavior. Throughout it, we will follow how the player interacts with the world and how those interactions influence the dragon over time. The environment is a constant factor in our game, but its impact shifts from something the player manages in the background to moments that require immediate action. Immersion is a key factor for us. We want the player to feel like they're part of the world, so the systems are built around direct interaction and feedback from the world itself, rather than relying too much on the UI. For example, as the weather intensifies, the temperature drops and the wind picks up. As the wind intensity increases, the player is slowed down. By raising their arms to brace against the wind, they can push forward more effectively and better maintain their movement speed through the storm. Seeking shelter in a cave like this during a storm allows the player to recover body heat before venturing out again. It acts as a short respite, a moment to prepare before continuing into more dangerous conditions. Our dragon companion is hungry, and there's a dead boar inside the cave. The dragon does not rely on predefined behaviors, instead it learns through interaction and feedback from the player. The player can choose to encourage or discourage the dragon's behavior, shaping how it responds to similar situations going forward. In this case, we discourage the dragon from eating the corpse, as it would leave fewer resources for the player to harvest later. Survival is built around physical interaction. Building a campfire requires the player to gather resources and place them into a physical setup in the world. When asked to gather fuel for the campfire, the dragon will search for an item it believes is appropriate based on prior experience. In this case, it brings back a torch, which cannot be used as fuel. When asked again, the dragon searches for an alternative. And this time, it returns with a branch, which can be used as fuel. We then give it a thumbs up to tell it how good of a job it did. This will reinforce its behavior going forward. With the correct materials gathered, the fire can now be ignited. Warming up happens passively over time, but physically interacting with the fire, the player can increase the rate of heat recovery, allowing them to prepare more quickly before moving on. The dragon also functions as a companion when exploring, capable of guiding the player through the world. In this case, it leads the player out of the cave while carrying the torch that was previously found. On the other side of the mountain, conditions are calmer, giving the player more freedom to explore without needing to manage the cold as aggressively. The player is hungry, and nearby we find a bow that can be used for hunting. Hunting becomes a key source of food, allowing the player to engage wildlife and harvest resources from it. After the hunt, the dragon no longer attempts to eat directly from the corpse. Instead, it approaches the player and begs for food, reflecting the behavior it was previously taught. This is another moment where the player can reinforce or adjust the dragon's behavior. In this case, the player provides food, satisfying the dragon's hunger by dropping the food on the ground. Further ahead, we come across an abandoned and partially destroyed house. Despite its condition, it offers a good foundation for a new camp. With food secured, the player prepares another campfire. Because the dragon has already learned what constitutes fuel, it now retrieves a branch correctly on the first attempt. The storm is approaching, so the player needs to quickly cook their meat before it hits. As the dragon matures, it would also gain new abilities, such as breathing fire, allowing it to assist the player further by igniting campfires directly. The meat is cooked in time, giving the player a reliable food source and letting them focus on repairing the house to take shelter from the storm. The world continues to shift with changing weather conditions, affecting both the player and the dragon. The dragon reacts to its surroundings, seeking shelter as the rain sets in. The goal is for the dragon to feel responsive and alive, not static or pre-scripted in how it behaves. To take shelter, the player must repair the structure to a state where it can provide protection from the elements. This allows the player to establish a temporary base, and in this case, build a bed to rest and recover, or to wait out the storm entirely. Thank you for taking the time to go through this showcase with me. We hope this has given you a good look at some of our current systems and a decent idea of how the game is going to play out. Thanks for watching.